Here is the wing removed in its crusty mess. I thought I'd just record a bit about parts and how it's put together, because I've never really looked in detail because I've never had the wing off, so it's quite interesting. Well, I always say that, but it is quite interesting to me. I'm sure there's other sad people like me as well. But I was surprised, and maybe not surprised, I don't know, but the whole wing's bolted together. So all these bolts, and using Britannica Mike's method, these are the 4 bolts that hold it to the inner arch. And these are the British Standard Whitworth ones there. Bits of plastic stuck in from behind. This is where it goes with the bulkhead. And so we started to get into here and it gets a bit of a crusty mess. This is where it's bolted straight up to the chassis. And I guess the interesting, so it's bolted along here. So the thing about the wings is they come in 3 parts: this part, and this part. Or you can buy the whole thing together. You don't get this part, I think, separately. That comes just as the full assembled bit, and same with this part. So you can buy this bit separately, this front face all down here. You can buy that separately. You can buy this bit separately, which is called a headlight surround or support, and they're bonded, well, they're spot welded on there. But you can't buy this part separately. There was a guy got in contact with me last year. He was trying to find this part, and it doesn't. I don't think it exists. We had a good old look, but I don't think it exists as a separate part. So really, it's kind of, if you've got to deal with this part, really, you've got to buy the whole wing to some extent, or find another good one. But this is the strengthening. This is where the bonnet support goes on 300 TDIs, etc. Anyway, I thought I'd show you some of the parts that came off, because what you're going to end up with is a bag of crusty mess. I had to cut most of these bolts off, so I've had to order other ones, so I might as well just show you what the parts are. And I'll put part numbers on the screen where appropriate. So these are these bolts, actually. These ones go in here. These are the little ones, smaller ones. There are the fatter ones. Where are they? There, these ones. These fatter ones with a washer. They're also British Standard Whitworth. They go in here and they are slotted, so they're very easy to get out. And this is the clip on the bulkhead. It's a later revised version, but that's what they screw into. This is the bolt, and there's a washer, and this is what goes through here into the bulkhead. Hope you can visualize this all right. It's all upside down at the moment, but it's just easier to see it. So there we've got a washer and a lock nut, and it's quite a long bolt actually. And then this is a 300 TDI. It's got this clamp for the wiring to go on. A few bits down here. So these clips, this is, if you imagine this bit, this is where the support goes from the inner wing up to here. And that's quite rusty and horrible. So this bit clips onto the bracket as a little nut there. And that's the part number on there. Along here, this is where you bolt the coolant bottle on a 300 TDI header tank. And actually later models, so rest of the world's spot models, they've got riv nuts in here. So I may replace these with riv nuts because they're just horrible nuts that you can't really get access around to the back. And then there's a riv nut on here. This is where the fuel filter goes on a 300 TDI. One's got a nut and a bolt, one's got a riv nut on there, and then there's a bracket that sits on here that goes down to the inner wheel arch, like so. Then don't forget this bracket. This is the bracket that goes up here. This goes from here to the bulkhead footwell. This one's corroded, but these are M6. I'll just get some generic bolts for that. Buy tons of these, obviously, inner wheel arch, because these are going to destroy themselves, and they're all along here, and they're all along the inner wheel arch as well. So buy those. Right, moving down here, so you've got these bits that hold the inner wheel arch. So these are those square plastic CZA part number ones that are everywhere. And they are just held in with the same floor screws as, let's see if I've got one here. Basically the same floor screws that I showed in my B post C post parts video, but you can get them in stainless quite easily. And then they've got these washers, which are, I bought this one as a genuine one just to see what it's like, but it's just a generic washer really. That goes on there. Now moving down here, this is the big bit where it goes through to the chassis on here. Actually there's two, these ones here, and it uses this long bolt here which is fully threaded and goes in, which way will it go in? So it's going to go in that way. It's got this big washer on it, this is the old one, and it's got this little star lock washer to grip in and screw up some metal, and that clips through. No, sorry, yeah, so that's that, and then there's a nut on the other side. And getting access to that down here is quite tricky actually. Then we've got this one, which is one of those horrendous nuts, and I managed to get my arm round, and you can get a 15mm spanner on from behind to hold on to the back of this. This is what they're supposed to look like. So you can see it's only got those two little tabs, and once they kind of corrode a bit and the nut just starts twisting round in there, so that's what you want on these ones. And then at the top of the wing, which is shown as the bottom here, you've got these two that hold, this is the radiator, the slam panel comes into here. On early models these are up to about 2005, these are bolts. So I've just bought some M6 bolts that go in there. From about 2005 they are studs with a nut. So just take your pick on there really. But they are captive in the wing. I think it might have said run a tap down there to clear them out, which is not a bad shout. Yeah, so there we go. I had to do this inside because it's raining today, naturally. Rain equals video day. There we go. Oh, I just need to think about that one actually. I've forgotten about that one. I'll be back in a sec. Well, I actually got to put in the whole wing back, but that one down the bottom there, it's just an M8 nut. Sorry, M8 bolt. 25mm or so. Just goes on the back there with a washer and a nut. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.